Oh gosh. I'm hoping my mic is working properly. Yesterday we started off with the house tours episode or broadcast, and it wasn't like I was like just blabbing away for like 20 minutes, and apparently there was no sound. So I'm hoping that today we have a better start than we did yesterday. Um, just gonna pull up the tweet here. Blah, 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 blah. Here we go. I'm so bad about remembering this. I really should do all of this beforehand, but I'm terrible about remembering. Anyway, first things first, there's an update on the housing competition that Venus Rising is sponsoring or hosting or whatever. I think it's called the Winterfest housing competition for them. It is open to both regions, NA and EU, and it's open to both factions, Dominion and Exiles. The thing is, though, apparently Anelia, the one that's actually hosting the whole event, found out that for a surprise birthday gift, she's going to be going on a special holiday vacation kind of thing. So she's had to move the registration dates a little later than she had planned, which probably works out best anyway, because with the Winterfest holiday hitting on the live game on the 16th, before the registration would start, I guess before that, and now people will have time to get a hold of a lot of the new decor and incorporate that into their builds before they submit their homes. So just to clarify, the see if I can get the right dates here before I start blabbing off. Start of registration is December 19th. That means that's when you can start submitting your home to be considered. It ends on the 27th. That's the big number. That's the one I usually look at. You know, how long do I have before I have no chance of getting in on it? So the 27th of December is the last day that you can submit your home for consideration, and then the winners will be announced on January 10th. So from the 27th all the way up until the 10th, that will give the judges their time to go through all of the homes. How long it takes us to go through it will really just depend on how many entries there are. I suspect there will be quite a few, since it's open to basically everybody, just about. It is just Entity 1 and Jabet 1, but since that's where the primary population is located, and the prizes are kind of limited anyway, that's just the way it works out. So apologies to those that are on the alternate realms. But that's just how we were hoping that maybe they would do the mergers beforehand, so that everybody would be in one big pool, but it just isn't working out that way. So hopefully that'll get sorted in time for the next set of housing competition. So that's the one for Venus Rising. Again, the dates when you can start submitting your homes is the 19th of December. 27th is the deadline for that. And then on the 10th of January, the winners will be announced. Hey Bones, good morning. As well, a reminder for Entity side, it's only Entity, and it's both factions for Entity. Black Dagger Society is having their, I think it's called the Winterfest Housing Extravaganza. So it's another housing competition, but it's just open to them. I don't remember the dates offhand because I'm not really as closely involved in that, but be sure and check that out. I have the links to both threads, discussing both challenges or competitions in my resources section on my Twitch channel page. Or you can just go directly to the official forums and look in the specific realm forms. So there's a Jabbit realm form, and then there's a entity. Just go to either one and you'll find it. Again, I haven't heard anything, even a hint that Carbine's going to be hosting one of their own. So in the meantime, we have at least some community-driven competitions to keep us entertained until when they decide to do that. Excuse me. So yeah, I think that's it for the announcements. Okay, so today is, what is today? Today is the 3rd, right? Yes. The 3rd, so that means we get to open window number 3 on our holiday advent house to see what we got here. So just to recap, day 1 was the candy cane, day 2 was the holiday wreath, and day 3 is, whoops, a little doll. Isn't it adorbs? A little doll. I'll have to adjust those windows a little better. See if I can get a good shot. It's really kind of hard to see. It's kind of a creepy doll. She's got some funky hair, but there you go. That's the little doll for you. Kind of hard to get a good shot because I don't have this, when I took screenshots of it for the Twitter posts, I actually had a staircase that I moved around for each one and, got the best shot there. But it's really kind of hard to do that when you're here with no extra little lift. But there's a little doll. She's got her dress and her little bow in her hair and a little creepy doll. Creepy doll for Christmas, or Winterfest, I guess. Hey, Soccer Top. Good morning. Glad you guys could join us. And congrats on getting your alt to 14 bones. But yeah, I'm glad you got it there. Hopefully you can get your winter plot all done. So that'll be fun. I actually came across a few more wintry plots, but there just wasn't nothing much to them, so I'm still hunting. But I'll keep my eyes out. I figured, the closer and closer we get, especially with the competitions in the air, I figure we'll see more and more Winterfest type of, or winter-esque type of plots popping up. Hello, Misdiagnosis. But yeah, it's one of those things that, some people get into the holiday stuff, and others, they prefer to do their own thing, which is fine. It doesn't have to be, it's like, I think Black Dagger Society's, one of their things was you don't even have to have snow on your plot to qualify, as long as it's holiday, related. Oh, well, I'll write that down, Bones, what your alt's name is, so I can remember. To have a look and keep an eye on your progress. So that's day 3 for our holiday advent house, and got plenty more to go. And of course, it's just to kind of help count down the holiday season there. So let's get back into our handy dandy indoor beach here. You'll notice I've added a little bit of something different. I was just kind of testing it out to see if it would look normal, but I've added some actual moving water on the parts that represent the water. I'm hoping that it will kind of have better differentiate between the sky and the ocean, the sea, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if it really works well. You can see there's a little bit of clipping because for whatever reason, this corner right here does not like the water decor. If you enlarge it a certain size, it it'll be there, but it'll like disappear. It's kind of weird. It's like it's got a no water zone or something. So I had to piece in like 3 or 4 pieces just to get this all lined up. It's really tough because the water itself isn't perfectly flat. So getting it to set up against the wall nicely without it looking too, you can see what I'm talking about here. There's a little bit of gappage here. I started to pull the books that we'd used for the horizon line out to kind of fill that in, but it's still kind of iffy. But I like how it looks down here and along the sides. It's just the back part that's not quite like I'd like. I may mess with it a little more on my own time because it was really annoying with the disappearing bits. So I don't want to get into that today because that was driving me nuts. But and you can see I've had to do a little layering here as well, but it's not too bad. You know, it's just supposed to be kind of an illusion type thing anyway, so. Well, see, Bones, that's a start, you know. Some snow, a frozen lake, and some furniture. That's pretty good. I've seen a lot of cute ideas. I mean, last year when I did the Proto Toys Incorporated, I did like a little campsite where there was one. I tried to make him a little a parka thing, you know, the little coat with the furry hat thing, and he was roasting some marshmallows. And then another one, I had him climbing a snow mountain thing, and I had him frozen in some ice. And there was another one that was some ice fishing, and then there was some on a little sled going down a slope. And I've seen another sled. In fact, we visited Allie's place a couple of days ago. They had a sledding one and some skiers. I've actually seen some people showing images of igloos. I've seen like, really it's basically 2 types of igloos. A lot of people are using the domes, the hollow domes for the cap, and then using the curved walls to fill in the bottom part to be able to leave a hole. And they're looking really good. I just didn't think of doing that, either that or when I was making the house. Those particular items weren't available yet. But I know there's the one that built them out of airtight containers, which was pretty nifty. Certainly had that little, you know, block of ice look on the outside. So yeah, if you need any ideas about, you know, things that you might want to put in a snow scene, you know, feel free to poke me because there's lots of things you could do. I'm anxious to get a hold of the snowball items. I'm hoping they're easy to get a hold of. So I'm sure a lot of people will be wanting to make their own homemade or custom snow people. You can make an igloo out of that, or maybe you know how the kids, they'll make a little snowdrift and then they got their little ammunition of snowballs and you have a little like, snowball fight. You could stage one of those with some of the NPCs and stuff. So we'll see. But today is all about being on the beach, and you can see I've got a gap there that I need to fix. We'll fix that later. So what do we find on the beach? I'm just going to kind of, I don't have a particular specific scene that I'm trying to make. I'm just thinking of things that I would picture you would find on a beach, and then we'll just kind of see where that goes. You know, maybe we move it and get rid of it later, but for now we're just going to play around with some ideas. So I was thinking of how we could make some like little seashells, or maybe a starfish or something. That's some terrible puns, Bones. I got a guildie that likes doing puns, and they're horrible. Okay, so I thought maybe the white plates would work for a shell. If I can get them to say place instead of crate. I'm just gonna put one here and I'm gonna flip it over. And then I kind of want it a little bit more defined as being a shell, even though that kind of looks like one, sort of maybe. I want to do it a little differently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get about half of it showing to give it that kind of, you know, little shelly look. I don't know what you call it. Don't want to be poking up too much because then it'll look weird on the sand. Let's see. Don't know if this is going to work. You know, I had it in my head as to what I wanted, and then like, maybe I should do it this way. Okay, let me change the way I'm doing this. Does that look right? That doesn't look right, does it? Excuse me. Unfortunately, I'm still just hacking away. I'm gonna shrink these down just a little bit. I'm gonna just try different ways of doing it and see if any of it looks okay. Kind of. A lot of little bits for this one little thing that a lot of people probably won't even see, but I just thought it would be fun to give it a try. Let's move this one out. I want the little eye showing, but I don't know. How big it needs to be. Something like that. I don't know what kind of shell that's called, but you know, the one that's kind of like I don't know what it's called. I'm really bad with shells. And yes, I did see the new pets. There's a lot of debate going on whether or not people are happy with the way they've set that up too, because apparently there's an option to make mounts and stuff account wide for a little extra cost. But from what I understand, the cost of mounts and stuff are, uh, according to some, cheaper overall than most of the other MMOs out there. So maybe it's okay. They're awfully adorable, and if I was really big, I don't really keep a pet out all the time. Uh, it's usually, if you're raiding, then you don't want that little extra thing popping in front of people, and uh, then when you're building your house and stuff, the pet ends up like landing right where you're trying to look. And I don't know, I just kind of gotten out of the habit of having a pet up, and so I figure, well, if I'm not going to have them up all the time, then I'm not sure I really want to spend some money on that. But yeah, there's like some talk about extra costs, and maybe you can get, instead of having a single claim mount, you can get it for your entire account, but it costs more. How much more, I don't know. I didn't really look that far into it. Because again, I tend to use just one type of mount right now. I've got like lots of mounts to choose from, but I end up using usually the one because it has a little better speed boost than the others, and it also goes over water. So I tend to stick with the little kitty one, the looks like the Hello Kitty hoverboard. Yeah, exactly, Bones. It's just, I don't know. I'm not. I'm a collector, but in a very, 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 very casual sense. If I can get a hold of them without too much work, then yeah, I'll go for it. But when it comes to doing the money thing for it, it's not probably something I will do a lot of. So there's one little seashell kind of thing. I'm trying to think about other types of shells. I know the one that we've got over here that I'm all the time fighting on the beach is kind of like kind of like almost like an ice cream cone. It looks like a cone, but it's like little segmented pieces. I don't know if I can make one of those or not. We'll see. So let's really gotta shrink it down to make sense. Bring this one over here. I don't want it too close to the other one. Someone's making a lot of noise. Let's see, I'm trying to think of how this thing looks. Wow, that like shrunk down quite a bit. Smooth roundish ones. I may have to do some like research. I was hoping to avoid that this time. Yeah, usually I get an idea in my head and then I start Googling up everything under the sun. And this time I just haven't done that because I thought, well, surely I can come up with some ideas, but apparently not. Well, what did I do? Let me cancel that. That one's at 10, 9. Okay, I need to put that at 8. They're just going down super small, aren't they? Oops, the wrong thing. Let's see. Maybe curve it a little bit. Really hard to see. I think that's curved too much. Let's turn that one to create and do this again. Oh, crabs. Oh gosh. You're making it complicated. I wouldn't even know how to start a crab. I keep hitting the wrong doohickey. The thingamabob. I just either wants to sink all the way in or not at all. That one just doesn't look as smooth as the others. I think it's because I raised it up and the others aren't raised. I don't know. Maybe it's better that you can see the segments. And I guess this one needs to be a hollow one because that don't look right, does it? I don't know. Well, no, that's good. That's a good way to kind of, you know, that's what brainstorming is just rattling off ideas, things. Like, you know, you see sandcastles and buckets and little kids with beach balls and I think, was it you or somebody else that said something about like a volleyball thing? I don't think there's really enough room for that in this particular scene, but for someone else that's doing a beach scene, you know, mine's kind of compact because it's indoors, but that doesn't mean that you have to limit it to just what I'm doing. You could really expand on it. In fact, there's actually a beach scene that we toured quite a while ago, but theirs was a little bit more. Theirs was set more like in a little jungly, wooded area, so you really didn't see a lot of beach. Because they had the water going straight up to the edge of the plot, so and the water like came right up to the, I guess, the little walkway or whatever, so there wasn't like no beach to really mess with. But I figured with the sunset sky, a lot of people will be envisioning, you know, beaches and stuff. And we've seen a few water areas, but usually it's water and then rock. You know, they don't really do the sandy part. I think the closest one is Zizi's with her beach party thing. That's the closest really good one that I've seen, and even they weren't really happy with it. A tiny volleyball. Yeah, I guess I could. I don't really like this shell. I probably won't leave that because that kind of doesn't look good to me. I don't know what about it that I don't like, but it's probably the color or the shape or something. I'm not sure what it is that is not working for me, but anywho, I do need to put down a couple of proto guys just for like reference on size. Now, I don't know what everybody else does when they size plushies for like NPCs, but mine are always 1.7. Why I picked that size, I have absolutely no idea. It could be that I might have went out into the world and kind of measured how tall they are in comparison to my character. I don't know. I think they're actually taller, but I really honestly couldn't say. I know I've done that with the WildStars when I used the WildStars as little NPC animals. I actually went out into the world and checked to see where the head or the body of it kind of come up to my character, and then I made the plushie about the same height. But I'm not sure what I did to decide on 1.7 for the Protostar guy. So, you know, you may come across people that make them bigger or smaller or whatever, but the smaller they are, the more they just look like a little toy. But usually when I'm making them like a little person, then I make them this size. For me, it feels right. Like they're the little, you know, the little elf type thingies. So I know I did want one on here. Excuse me. And I guess I need to move this a little bit. Maybe just add a duplicate here. To fill in that gap, because that's going to bug me every time I see it. Just sunk it enough so it kind of covers that hole. Probably not slanted really good or whatever, but at least I don't see that bright blue. Shark insurance. No, he's not going to be selling shark insurance. I was going to have him fishing over here or something. I don't know how, but we'll figure it out. Just like I wanted to like put some boats or something in the distance, or maybe like a little island or whatever, maybe a volcano or something in the background. Who knows? But right now we're just looking about the beach. Now I forgot to mention, I'm sure you noticed I added a door and I threw up a little lifesaver thing, and then I put in some tiki roofs. I was playing around with trying to make it look like it's an actual, you know, a beach hut, even though you can actually go in it. I wanted it to represent. And I guess I really should put another door over here. And clearly that's going to have to be pulled out a bit. The only thing about these particular items, using them as doors, is they're not flat. per se, so they're kind of not ideal. Because not only is this piece not flat, but neither is the wood that I'm using, so it's all crooked and messy. So what I really need to do, I guess, is give some framework to the doors. They don't look so out there. Yes, definitely. It's kind of annoying. I mean, I understand why a lot of items are that way, but you know, sometimes you just want some flat shapes that you can, you know, manipulate however you want, and it's just not. It's not that easy. I don't know. You learn to work around it, but still, it can be very annoying. So let's see, what kind of I think what would probably work best is some more of these sticky things. I'm gonna try. I think I have a spare one that I can pull out here. Actually, I got quite a few. Well, how handy is that? All I'm gonna say is excellent. That is awesome. Wrong way. Well, for hoodly-hoo's sake, why is that? Okay. I think what it was, I think the reason I had these extras is I wanted some beams to support the roof. But I'm going to try this just to see if it looks good for the framing of the door. You know, you could use like just some regular pillars or something, but I want something kind of looking a little like it's been roped together, kind of like the rest of the house, just kind of scraps. Wow, that thing keeps wanting to rotate really, really bad. Yeah, I think I'll have to make myself some more of these tiki roofs, so I have these little pillars to use. Thank goodness for Katia's add-on to get that. When it wants to go wonky on you, it stops. See, I'll box these in with these bits to kind of hide that it's not so flat and perfectly meshed with the wall. That'll work okay. So note to self, need more tiki roofs. Is that 1, 2, 3? Need at least another 5 or 6. Now, to what I was going to do before is right now I have them sunk in so that you can't see the main beams that are going vertical. But I'd like to add some to kind of make it make more sense that they're being supported there instead of just kind of hanging off. You don't have to, but that's just something I want to add. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to turn it upside down and do it like so. It's probably going to be all crooked and it's not perfectly straight, and we'll see if we can fix that a little bit. Excuse me. I'm trying my best not to cough, but it's a little hard because, again, I've got a cold again, so all that loveliness is kicking back in. And okay, so I like that. Then I'm just going to take that over. Now I'm going to have to rotate this one to get that one not showing. That looks okay. Except for the sign sticking up there. We don't want the sign there. The sign. Now is that too far down? No, it looks okay still. And it helps kind of change up the look of this, so it's not the exact same pole every time. That's good. Oh, are you one of those that hangs on to the cough too, misdiagnosis? Because I certainly am. I've had this one for well over a month now, and I've like taken every medicine under the sun for it, and I'm just so tired of the coughing. But I think I'm just gonna leave that one with the pegs. I'd like to leave this one open because I really don't want to block this view. Just to make them different too. So let's see, how many more of these do we got? I got enough I can probably finish blocking off this door. Yeah, that's kind of how it's been for me. It's just been an ongoing, and partly because uh, my son and my husband, they both got sick at different times with different kinds of cooties, and I think I got it back to back, and that just kind of strung it out. And you know how it is when you get sick once and you're kind of weak, and then the next thing that comes by, they go, ooh, there's a good spot to fester, so they just kind of join in, and it just makes it one long miserable thing. Whoops, do that again. Now, probably what would be ideal is if I switch this so that it doesn't look exactly the same, but I'm going to place it first just in case I screw it up, and then we'll try and see if we can make it look a little different than its counterpart. Let's see. What exactly piece was I using on this thing? I think I was using the edge there. The only thing bad about sand and water is you cannot see those silly arrows very well. That would be helpful if we could change the colors of those things sometimes. You know, when it's necessary. That really looks lopsided, but I don't know, maybe that's alright. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay, now I need a shorter one for the top. This should be fun. I'm so bad about rotating, figuring out which way it needs to go. Maybe it has a little overhang as well. Maybe we could do it that way. What do you call those? Eve? Something. Maybe I've done to one. That might be too small. Okay. Something like that. I mean, the gap is still there, but you really can't see it. And it kind of, I don't know, makes it look a little different. That'll be okay, I think. Yeah, awning. There we go. I knew it was something. I think they even call it awning, like a shop awning, red shop awning or something. Or the one with the little dangly lights on it or whatever. I always thought they were bells for some reason. I don't know why. They look like little, like, jingly bells, but they're actually lights. I only noticed that when I was using them for the build outside. Okay. Let's see. Probably need some windows. Uh, what kind of windows? That's a good question though. I don't want to use traditional windows necessarily, or if I do, got to use it in a different way because I don't think those really work well. Portal window. I really hate this thing. I've seen people use it for other stuff, but never as the window. Well, I wouldn't say never. I've seen some, but it just looks out of place. I think it's because of the, I don't know what it is. It just looks weird. I don't know. What does a hatch window look like? Well, I'm gonna put the one down because I have it and I never use that thing and because it's so awful looking. I don't like it. But I'm gonna put it up anyway. Because that's just how I am. It just looks weird. I don't know why I don't like it. I don't know. So let's see. Ideally, it would probably be like with some shutters, maybe. And of course open and nice and airy, but you know, because this is boxed in, I can't really open it per se. Guess I could just have them closed, maybe, with shutters. Maybe that would work. I don't know. My favorite shutters are the deck pieces. I know they're not really shutters, but they look it to me. Excuse. Again, issues with it not being nicely flat. Like he could pretend there's a window here and the shutters are just closed. Maybe they're preparing for a bad weather or something. Who knows? Something like, of course, look at that. Look at the gap on that. That's like really bad. That's because these are all crooked beyond belief. Oh my gosh. That's like really bad. A little better, I guess. Let's see. Got some ankle deep ocean water there. You know, I thought about maybe we could use like the space suite for like or not the space suite, the tentacled plant. You know, make it look like there's a jellyfish floating in there, but I think that'll look a little weird. I know Bones mentioned seaweed. I don't know. I guess you could use stalks. Is that what they're called? Leafy stalk? Yeah. And you have to really, really shrink these down. And like, now I'm thinking of like seaweed that's been washed up on the beach. If you're thinking about like having actual seaweed sticking up, you probably could do that too, but I don't want mine looking like a little swampy. So we're just gonna have some seaweed bits showing. Yeah, that's probably the closest we have to anything that looks like kelp or whatever. Trying to make it a little curvy. That didn't work at all, did it? We'll just bring this over here. I don't want it sticking up too much, but I don't want that end showing really, because it doesn't look seaweedy to me. See if we can a little. Something like that. We don't want the beach looking like it's just full of trash either. That's, you know, another thing. Yeah, the overgrowth things might work as well. The barnacle, I think it's got the little, it's got some seaweed stuff on it too. Yeah, kind of okay. If, again, my water isn't too deep, so I don't know if that would look right. I don't really want things sticking out of it. You know, if you built the water where it's a lot deeper, you could probably get away with planting in a lot of stuff along the edges and things where it wouldn't be sticking up. But I don't want mine looking like a pond. And that's, to me, that's what it would start looking like. And here, these will be tricky to lay flat on the ground because you have all this, the barnacle thingy showing, I think. I'll put one down just to see though. Some pretty weeds though. Yeah, see, I won't be able to lay it down like I'd like. I think I'm going to get rid of this one because I don't like it. I don't like that shell. Let's see, what else can we do? For the fishing, clearly you want like a bucket or something that he has either his bait in, or maybe that's where he puts his catches. I know I want some netting around, so I'm going to throw that out here just to kind of remind me that I want some netting somewhere. I don't know if I want it hanging on the wall, or have you ever seen one of those where they like catching fish, they got it like on two big rods and it's like out in the water and they dip it or something like that? Maybe that's not making sense, but well, I don't want mine overgrown. Again, I'm aiming to kind of keep it look like a clean beach and not a cluttered up one. It's, you know, nothing against, you know, what you're suggesting, but I really don't want a lot of bits. You know, I may end up putting some, but I don't want a whole bunch. I'm just going to set that to the side for now. A weird little... No, it would be great. I think they've got a hammock coming in someday. That would work great here, having a hammock. A beer cooler. Beer cooler. Need an ice chest. Well, let's see. I should be able to sink one of those in, I think. See if we can get that. Kind of close. Ain't gonna be perfect. It's got that little doohickey showing. I'll have to move my bucket to cover it up. Tough because the silly table wants to show through. It's all these little corners that are poking. And of course you have to have that silly tire there too. That's about as good as it can get. Let me see, do I have any beer? I have a whole pile, apparently. I don't think he needs a whole pile. Put one or two. But yeah, you could put rocks, seaweed. You know, if you want to put some junk too, I mean, a lot of places, you know, there's all kinds of things floating around. A fish, a dead fish, you know, one of the corpses, you know, you could have that. And, I don't know, maybe some seagulls or something ravaging it. There, he's got a couple of drinks, got his bucket, and some kind of weird tire thing going on. I'm gonna move these over a little bit, so I'm gonna... Whoops. Arrows are different, apparently. Well, that's still not right, is it? How weird is that? Well, I can't move it over too much because then it starts showing there. Grr. Oh well. He's got his stuff. What he's using the tire for, I have no idea, but Apparently it's used for fishing. Okay, so fishing pole. What can we use for a fishing pole? Now I did see it. Whoops, a nifty idea. Someone used. I think it was Allie. Um, and later they removed it, and I was so sad to see it go because they had it all cute and everything. It had a little boat and everything, and some fishing poles, and then they got rid of it. I was like, no, it was so adorable. Why did you get rid of it? So we're gonna pop this down here, maybe. And we need something for a pole. Spear, maybe? Do we have a spear? We have spears. Yeah, I'd rather have this one than that one. But I know we've got that one separate, so... what is that thing called now? Pillar? No. What's that one? The single Draken spear. Pretty sure I had one of those. Dartboard, sign. Pointy? Was it called pointy something? Oh, it's not called a spear anymore, it's a totem. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know they changed it completely to something else. That's a really big pull for that little guy. Shrink that down a bit. Oh, well, you should show it up. I loved that little boat. Allie says they still have the boat. It's just sunk down while it's winter. I guess the river's supposed to be frozen now. And they made the boat out of a hover barrel, so it moves, and it really helped sell the idea that the water was moving, even though they didn't actually use any of the moving water. So, yeah, I really like that. So, yeah, I'm stealing your idea, Allie. Look at that, he's floating. I didn't even notice that. How in the world? Down there. Little Mr. Floaty. Yeah, I don't know why they call it totem. That doesn't make sense. It's a spear. And it was spear before they went and messed up the names, but I don't know. But yeah, Ellie's place is the one that we visited that was has the big goat on it. The holiday goat. I want to say it was Galva. I don't know what it's called. Some kind of the Scandinavian thing that you guys were telling me about. How do we turn this? Looking for the right. Can't see the color. There we go. And they're the ones that also, like me, they wanted to build a plot that they didn't have to change the whole thing every time they turned around. But as much as I love building, that really gets old after a while, having to build everything from scratch. So, you know, we looked for ways to be able to add things when we want, but that you don't have to do the entire thing. That's just exhausting. Yeah, Mr. Haybale, the Christmas goat. Yeah, exactly. That's the one. Okay, I'm having fun trying to line this thing up. And you gotta sink it low enough so that the clothes, of course, aren't showing. But I liked the idea of it because, you know, I have the noose. I could use that as the string for the pole. But I loved Allie's cleverness about it looking like it's in motion because the string moves. And that kind of plays into the idea that it's active in the water. So I really like that. So all credit to Allie, but we're going to use it here. I'm going to place it real quick so I don't mess it up. Good morning, Morsees. Thanks for joining. And then we're going to enlarge this a little bit. He's got this really super huge string on this little bitty here. This, a little bit bigger. I don't want that bit showing. I'm just being cantankerous. If you see me placing something every now and then, that's because often I'll go to place something and then I'll tweak it and tweak it and tweak it, and then I'll do something and messes it all up, and then I'll lose any progress I had. So it's kind of like saving a document as you're working on it. You just kind of save, just so that you don't lose anything in case your computer crashes. That's exactly what I'm doing there, is just trying to make sure I don't mess up too much. There we go. We got this big hunky rope on the end of the poor little spear. Not exactly as perfect as Allie's, but it's as close as I can get for now. I'd really like a heftier looking spear thingy, but to get it the size for him, it needs to really be small. Maybe I'll use a pillar to kind of chunk that up a little bit. Anywho, so we have the fishing proto guy. I'd like one maybe out in the water on a little, I have an extra one of these. Maybe we can put one of those in the water where he's floating on it or something. He's just enjoying himself. Got to raise him up quite a bit because his ears clip into the side of the... There we go. The thing's not very water-worthy. It's sinking. Okay. Um, oh, just looking at weird fishing nets. Trying to see if there's something I can do with the Chua one. Like I said, I have an idea of what I think it would look like, but I don't think it's going to be. Yeah, it might be Protostar made life belt. It's a little oversized. It doesn't float very good. One of those questionable little deals. You know, what can you do? Excuse me. Let's see. I really hate this window. I gotta get rid of it. Every time I look at it, it's like, ugh, I don't like it. Um, 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 um. Now, there's like the sandcastles. How you can build those, I don't know. It'd probably be just a bunch of rocks if you wanted to really get down to the itty gritty and make a little stone kind of sandstone looking castle thingy. Um, I guess we could try that just for the fun of it. It's just that right here with the light where it is, since that's a light, uh, the sand is really, really bright here. Um, Hey Norna, what do I think about the new expedition event coming up with the new NPCs and ship parts? Probably not something I'm really going to strive for. I think it's cool for those that are really into the ship building, which I know there's many of those. I mean, just the looking at the lists of like that I maintain on the forums, the space station and spaceship section, it's really quite extensive. Um, so for those people, this is going to be a gold mine. There probably will be some parts that I will hunt down because maybe I could use it for things other than a ship. But for me personally, like I have a ton of those the spaceships that you get from the ship hands right now. I haven't used a single one other than as little toys. Sometimes I find ways to use like parts of them for other things, but very rarely, because they're so, I don't know, clunky to work with. But for folks that really like to show like little spaceship displays or little toy collections and things like that, um, you know, they work great. But for me, I hardly ever use them. Just like I have like I think I have some engine parts and like I think it's the exhaust or something. Yeah, spaceship exhaust. I got a couple of those, but I never use them. They're good for piping when you want to show piping, but I very rarely do that as well. But I imagine I know at least one guildmate that's gonna just probably spam that expedition for those parts because he's really into building spaceships and stuff. Um, and then there's several in my housing circle that are really into that as well. Well, the NPCs from what I saw were kind of like the guard NPCs. They're holding guns or other weaponry. Um, for regular builds, for me, in my opinion, those don't work as well. If you have a fort or a space station or um, uh, in certain situations, like if it's a bank or something, maybe it makes sense to have a guard, somebody with a weapon that's, looking like either they could quickly, put it up to shoot you or they're ready to shoot you or whatever. Um, but for like the beach, The beach scene, those kind of NPCs don't work. They kind of look out of place, in my opinion. It just looks weird. Um, Same way with the, yeah, unarmed definitely is what I'm going for. But even then, you have to be kind of picky because, like, currently the NPCs that we can get from Madame Faye, uh, the the I don't know what it's called, the customer one. There's like the laborer and then the general one. The laborer is cool if you can get them uh, near something that looks like they would be tinkering with it. But if you go with the other one, then they're like animated, like talking. I would like some that just stand there. You know, maybe they're just waiting in line quietly, just stand there. Maybe do an occasional little idle animation, but nothing major. Um, do I think they're going to do Protostar NPCs? I don't know. I would love it if they did. I would love it if they add a lot of NPCs. You know, I'd like a lot of the races even that they have as guards just be regular NPCs as well. And in varied outfits, you know, maybe you know, we have the beach scenes there in Mulgrave where they're in their little bathing suits and things like that. That would be fun to have those, you know, for a little party scene that you want. We have those that are labored up like tradesmen and things with their aprons and things like that. That would be cool. Or the ones that are for specific paths. You know, they've got the soldier one and the explorer one. Those would be pretty cool if they had all of that in all of the different races, and just in, you know, normal, non-talky, you know, it's like the Loft. I love the Loft NPCs, but they're so noisy. It's just annoying to hear that sound all the time. And I would really like just some quiet ones, just standing there going, you know, and that would be good. That would be good for me, because they have them in Fortune's Ground there in Thade, where they're just standing there. They're not bouncing around and squeaking all the time. I would like some quiet ones as well. Um, so yeah, really, what do I think about the new stuff? I think it's great. New stuff is always a plus, regardless of what it is. It's probably not going to be something specifically that I'm going to be aiming for. I will do the things, but I'm not going to farm it. I'll probably even, you know, see if I can grab some cheap ones off of the AH or whatever as it comes out, but I'm not going to make it my goal to get a bunch of, because, you know, if I'm not going to use it anyway, that's just storage space is going to be cluttered up with stuff that I will never, hardly ever use. I will definitely look into that. Right now I'm looking for winter plots though. You got a winter plot? Something with snow? Doesn't have to be, you know, Winterfest. You don't have to have the holiday decorations up and stuff, but I am looking for winter plots. Okay, so we've got a little bit of seaweed, got one seashell. The other one I got rid of because I didn't like it. Well, see, now you have to work on another one. Or be thinking ahead and start thinking about, you know, other holidays that you might could decorate for. Because, you know, some people really need a lot of time to kind of come up with a plan of attack, and then, you know, then they go from there. I know they supposedly have already data mined some Valentine stuff. In fact, it's on the decor shopper. Yeah, there's like the pillow heart. Looks like it's got confetti or something for the frills. And the bed of love. And how disturbing is that? And it's a little Chuba as the Cupid and stuff. So, you know, if you've got a plot that's dedicated to romance or something, maybe this would be the holiday for you. That's a little too over the top for me, I think. I mean, it's kind of cute, you know. Maybe I would probably be the person that would get the bed just to use the heart, you know, here, and I'd like sink it in just so and just use the one little heart. And what is kind of a waste of furniture to me. Pretty crazy. It's got some plushies too. I don't know. It might be rigged to explode. What I would like is just the pillows themselves and the blankets separate. But, you know, you can dream. Yeah, I don't know. I know there's supposed to be some kind of the party girl, but um, I don't know what terms they use. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this one, the Orange Door, to come out. I just don't know the terms. Look at this one too. I think that's different. And the garage door. That'd make a good roofing for like corrugated tin roof or something. That would work really well. Yeah, it definitely looks like a hobbit door. But who wouldn't want that? That's so cute. You could use it for other things, but I imagine, you know, like this one, I have my feeling that it's not functional. These two might be, but, you know, let's see. I don't think. Yeah, these were a big disappointment because these are actually in the game now, the hatcheries. And the preview is kind of misleading because in the preview it looks like it's just kind of aqua green water, but in reality it's got like this weird pearly goo inside it. Let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. Hey, look at that. It's nasty looking. I mean, so you can't put anything in it because you can't see it. And I don't know. It looks like somebody put fingernail polish inside there, and it's just not a very. I think they. I don't know. I'm sure they thought they were doing us a favor, but it's. Yeah, you can use it. You could probably shrink it down and think, you know, consider it like, I don't know. Just me, it was kind of a disappointment because, you know, when you think of tanks and things, you want to like make little uh, uh, aquariums and stuff out of it, and those you just can't do that with because of the way they've filled them up. I don't know what other terms though to try and find new items, because sometimes, I mean, like they called that one thing the spear that just didn't. Here's a marauder lamp. That's pretty weird looking. Here's an overhead lamp. This would be kind of interesting, I think. Looks Protostarish to me with the blue. And the flowers, I don't know. I know they got this one, the strange little lily pad looking thing. It's called a flat flower bush. I would put it in water though, instead of being a bush. There's no gnomes. What are you talking about? I wish they added more clothes. That would be good. Oh, well, I probably missed that. You'll have to tell me where that is exactly. I'll go hunt that back up and see what, because I don't remember seeing no Drake and gnomes. Unless you're just talking like little statues or something. Anywho, I think we're going to call it for today. My throat is starting to get really, really dry, all the talking and stuff. But we made a little bit of progress, and I'm a little happier with the water, how it's doing. The only thing that bugs me is this bit here, but you know, it's a lot of trial and error. You might find it that, you know, maybe the way that you put it in, it works better. I'll get busy on making some more of the tiki roofs so we can finish up the door frame here. And I'll give some thought as to how I might want to fashion some windows and things like that. And maybe I'll try and figure out a better way to do the fishing pole. The rope seems oversized for the pole, so I'm going to have to decide, do I want to do that differently or what? And then we'll add some background stuff because it really looks too empty. Well, thanks, Norgna. I'm hoping it does too. It's not super serious. I haven't had to go back to the doctor or anything, but it's just one of those. It's a persistent kind of issue, and you know, like I said, I'm still taking my medicine. I got my puffer here, and I've got some decongestant pills that I'm taking for the sinuses, because that's part of the irritation. Before it was just kind of a little tickle at the back that the puffer was helping, but now I've got the sinus stuff that's starting to drain down into the throat, which further irritates, and it just keeps, it's the gift that keeps on giving for right now. So it's not exactly one of those presents you can return. But I hope you guys had fun. I certainly did. You guys gave me a lot of good ideas that I'll have to kind of mull over and decide if I want to include them or what. We may just experiment and put in a bunch of different stuff on the sand and then pick and choose what we want to leave for next time, for tomorrow. But in the meantime, thank you guys for joining me. And excuse me. And remember the housing competitions that are currently going on. Both of them are linked in my resources section on my Twitch channel page. It's for Entities version is being hosted by Black Dagger Society, and then you have Venus Rising hosting one that's for the two regions, both factions, for Jabit 1 and Entity 1. All the information is out. Like I said, there's been a bit of an update for Venus Rising's one. The window of opportunity to post your house for submitting it is December 19th to December 27th. And then on January 10th, they'll announce the winners. I don't know the full details on Black Dagger Societies, but you can find the information there if you're on that region. I really probably should, you know, find that out, because maybe there's some EU players that have some NA characters, but I think it's a little farther and fewer between than the others. So, and since we're all about EU, you know, I'm strongly going to promote them. And of course, tomorrow we'll have day 4 of the Winterfest, the holiday Advent house thingy. I don't know what to call it really, but we'll have day 4 for that. Now, I won't be streaming day 5 and day 6 because those land on Saturday and Sunday, but I will be tweeting them, and I will recap them on Monday when we open the next one after that. But for sure, kind of check on that to see, if you're interested in what the little surprises are. And, I'm not really going into how I built them or what they're made with, but if you're curious, be free to ask. I'm happy to share. It's not a big secret or anything. In fact, let me just do that real quick, just for those that are curious. I think I already said that the candy cane was made out of soda cups. The wreath is balloons with overgrowth. It's like, I don't know, 7 or 8 pieces of overgrowth because I had to shrink them down and then, tilt them a little bit to make that nice round thing. For the doll, it's dynamite for her hair. It's gonna explode. It's a Chua doll apparently. Dynamite for the hair. It's just the bottom of the dynamite sticks. It's supposed to look like, red curls or whatever. The fancy bow for the hair. The little tiny effigy for the doll itself. And for her dress, it's one of the flower vases, the decorative pink orange one for her dress. And that's it. It's very simple, but it's, kind of cute. Yeah, Dynamite Bandit for the hair. I thought about trying to make her mouth a little bit more of a smile, but that didn't quite work out right, so I just left it kind of like a voodoo doll for the holiday. So yeah, again, we'll be revealing day 4 tomorrow, and then Saturday and Sunday, and then come Monday we'll recap the ones I didn't stream, and can answer any questions folks may have. I haven't been back into the ice rink, but I will probably be working on that this weekend a little bit to kind of get a better idea of the direction I want to go as far as the seating and stuff, and probably not going to add too much more to it because really I want to leave it as open as possible because like I said, it's supposed to be used for a guild event that we're going to be holding there, and I don't want to crowd it up too much because if you have a lot of things hanging in the way, then people can't get their screenshots or they can't see, and I just want to kind of leave it open, but we'll see how it goes. And once we kind of got this solid, then hopefully that'll be around the time that the actual Winterfest event kicks in, and then we'll have some new stuff that I'm going to try and finish up the main build, because I really want to load this tree up with lots of presents and things, and some areas upstairs that needs a little love and care, and decorate this area up a little bit more, and then we'll call it, done. But it's just biding our time, really. And of course, after the holidays is done, then we'll be stripping out a lot of the holiday decoration and changing it all up again for the next seasonal stuff. But until then, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope most of you are feeling better than I am. I'm sure that's the case, but I still hope it just in case you're a little sicky too. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.